Alright guys, it's finally time for my Death Stranding 2 on the beach review. You guys probably thought I wasn't going to do this because it's been over a month already since the game launched. But I just been slowly playing through this game, man. I took my time with this. I put about 135 hours into this game. And that's only because I had to finish it at the end, because Mafia's about to come out. So I just got caught up in this world, man. It really hooked me in. I was taking my time playing through it because it was pretty good. I enjoyed myself a lot, but we'll get into that. So let's talk about Death Stranding 2 on the beach. This game is a third-person action-adventure game that's set primarily in Australia, 11 months after the events of the first game, in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by otherworldly creatures. The player controls Sam Porter Bridges, a freelance porter, as he and his companions set out on an expedition across the Australian continent to connect isolated survivors and colonies to the wireless communications chiral network in order to save humanity from extinction. So yeah, that's pretty much the premise of the game. I don't want to give away too much of the story, because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but it picks up right where the last game left off, and you're asked to help connect other continents. I was pretty invested in the story after finishing the first one, and I couldn't wait to start the second one. I did it right too. I played the first one right before this came out, so I went right into it knowing everything. And you know what? The story did not disappoint, and it kept me wanting to know more and play more. I mean, I was invested in most of the characters, as many of them make a return from the first game, and I had questions that I needed answers to, so they did a great job keeping me wanting more. But I have to say this before I go on. This game is full of Kojima cheese, as I like to call it. And if you've played any of his games, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kojima has a really weird sense of humor, and you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I tend to love his stupid little jokes and his dumb names he gives to people. For example, Die Hard Man. Or the guy with the giant heart being called Hartman. I mean, it's really stupid, but it somehow works. Like I said, you either love it or you hate it. And if you hate it, you'll probably hate this game entirely just on principle. But anyways, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach was developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. This means for now, this game is a PlayStation exclusive, boys. And I like to see that consoles still have some exclusives. I mean, that's the whole reason to make people want to buy your console over another one. To play your games. And for those of you that have been living under a rock all your lives, Kojima Productions is headed by Hideki Kojima, the creator of the Metal Gear Solid series. Now, Kojima had a falling out with Konami during the making of Metal Gear Solid 5 and left the studio to form his own, which is now Kojima Studios. And Death Stranding 1 was their first game as a studio. And as good as that game was, many referred to it as more of a tech demo of sorts for what was to come. And let me tell you, it seems those people were right, because Death Stranding 2 takes everything from the first one and puts it on steroids. I mean, the amount of things you can do in this game as opposed to the first is crazy, but we'll get into that later. Death Stranding 2 runs off the Decima engine, and the Decima engine was made by Guerrilla Games and released in November of 2013. So this is a game engine that's over 10 years old. And this game engine is also used on other notable franchises, including Sony's Horizon and Killzone series, as well as Until Dawn. Alright, so let's talk about the good aspects of the gameplay. There's new biomes for you to explore in this game, including deserts and forests, along with natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, and lightning storms, and all kinds of other stuff happening. And with more biomes and disasters comes more obstacles to overcome throughout your journey. I mean, sometimes you might get caught in wild brush fires and have to pull out your tar gun to put fires out. And other times you'll be climbing a mountain when an earthquake strikes and get caught in an avalanche. And having all these biomes and disasters also helps to really give off that feeling that you're traversing across an entire continent. The first game felt relatively small based on what you would expect to deal with while traversing North America. At least I felt that way. In Death Stranding 2, you feel all of the effects of being out in the Australian outback, boys. I mean, you can even suffer from sunburn now if you're out too long in the scorching Australian sun. These additions were awesome and definitely helped to give the concept of the game new life. And you're now able to overload your backpack and strap it down. And you're also able to drop your backpack entirely and be more nimble for combat or retrieving hard to reach lost cargo. And let me tell you, being able to get rid of your backpack is a game changer. When you want to assault an enemy territory, you can just get rid of your pack and cargo and go full Snake Plissken mode on them, boys. I mean, this game not only has more combat overall than the first one did, it has way more variations of weapons and techniques for you to take advantage of when fighting enemies. And you have access to shotguns, machine guns, sniper rifles, decoy grenades, smoke grenades, drones, traps, and many more at your disposal for dealing with enemies. I mean, hell, you can kick people's ass with pizza dough, boys. And in addition to the basic gadgets and weapons now at your disposal, you can also upgrade your vehicles to have mounted weapons and even shoot your own weapons from the vehicle. That's pretty badass. You get access to mounted machine guns, plasma cannons, shields, spike tires, and sticky guns for picking up cargo on the move. Your sticky gun will pick up lost cargo automatically when in range while you're driving by. And then if you're wearing combat gloves, you can now pick up cargo and chiral crystals off the ground simply by driving near them. And that was such a welcome addition, as now you don't have to keep getting in and out of your vehicle in order to pick things up. That was so annoying in the first one. It really speeds up the process and flow of the game so much more compared to the first one. It's like night and day. And then you also have access to skill upgrades called A-Pass skills, which allow you to boost things like more cargo weight, more battery power, or better combat techniques based on your playstyle. And this was also a welcome addition, albeit a straightforward thing. I mean, you get A-Pass points for skills based on doing deliveries for each settlement. And you can spend these points to purchase skill upgrades that you unlock along the way. I mean, I spent the first 50 hours or so in this game just building roads and things, so I always had points stocked and ready to purchase the next upgrade. And by the end of the game, I was fully upgraded and ready to rock Vasquez style, boys. Let's rock! I mean, you definitely feel the difference in your abilities from the beginning of the game until the end, that's for sure. And it does a good job of giving you that feeling that you grew as a person and a porter along your journey, you know? So a new thing in Australia is that they have a monorail system that you can take advantage of. So if you repair the monorail, it connects resource mines and different settlements together so that you can mine fresh materials and also use the monorail as a zipline to get to and from different places. The monorail came in handy many times during my playthrough when I was building my zipline routes. And it also allowed me to easily zip to a mine, get the resources I needed to build the next thing, and zip on out to the next location. Very convenient. And doing things in the menus and in your private room has been made way easier and more streamlined. I mean, now the bathroom and the shower are merged together so you don't have to do everything individually. You just do it once and everything's taken care of. And going through your cargo menu and getting things in order is also quicker and more efficient, leaving you more time to focus on the tasks at hand and not be stuck in the menus as much as the first one. I mean, you're still stuck in the menus in this game. It's kind of part of the game, but it's not nearly as bad as the first one. Also, the control scheme has been refined and makes much more sense compared to the first one. An example being that they moved the scan button from R1 to L1 and made R1 crouch. So for me, coming directly from the first one, I did not like that at first because I was used to it. But as I played more, I realized it just made more sense in the grand scheme of things, so I really appreciated that change. And the combat is just so much more fun in this game compared to the first one as well. Having so many more guns and gadgets at your disposal makes for a real good time. Like I said before, you can let your inner Snake Plissken out in this game and go full MGS5 on their asses. Sneaking in, hiding in holograms, silently taking people out, or even sniping them in the face, or just driving in guns blazing with your mounted machine guns. The possibilities are endless, boys. I mean, you can even snowboard in on your floating cart Marty McFly style and cruise around the enemy base taking people out. It's just so much fun to be had here, and another reason to keep playing this game well after you beat it. And you can now also dodge attacks and even have double jump dodges now. So you don't feel helpless anymore when being attacked, especially when you don't have your backpack on, because you can run around and dodge or even dive out of the way of attacks, which gives you more options during combat and allows you to really take it to the enemy. And the vehicles handle so much better than they did in the first game. I mean, in the first game, I hated driving the off-road trucks unless I was driving on the road, because they handled so poorly in the rough terrain. I mean, you could easily get stuck on a hill with all your cargo and have to start walking in the first game, like fuck this. But in this game, I did most of my playthrough driving around in the truck, believe it or not. because the truck can get over most obstacles now, especially with spiked tires equipped, and it is easily dislodged if it gets stuck. So I just rolled with that most of the game. No pun intended. Trike bikes have been drastically improved as well. I mean, they seem much faster and they're very easy to navigate over rough terrain in this game too. Vehicles in general were just greatly improved in this game. Alright, let's move on to the bad aspects of the gameplay. Sometimes combat can be a little frustrating. Things will happen that will frustrate the hell out of you. For instance, when you equip a gun, if you hold left trigger too fast in the animation while you're pulling it out, you'll just grab your chest to stabilize yourself instead of pulling out a weapon. So you end up just staring at the enemy holding your chest while they smash you and knock all your stuff out of your inventory. You know, you're like mid-fight and you just stop doing everything that you're doing. You're like, I pledge allegiance to the... I just get destroyed by the guys. And when this happens, it can really get under your skin. But eventually you learn to just wait the animations out and it doesn't happen that much. And another instance is if you are standing next to cargo while you try to equip a weapon. Because you're going to end up just picking up the cargo in your hand, so this makes you have to run away from cargo on the ground before you can pull out weapons. Not that big of a deal, but still a bit frustrating at times. And if you're running and moving the camera a lot, sometimes you'll have to stop moving altogether to get the controls to reorient themselves. I mean, you'll be holding back on the stick, but Sam will just continue to run forward until you stop. And this can get really frustrating, as a few times I just ran straight off a cliff because this asshole just would not stop running or change direction no matter what I did. But you know what? Even though I fell off the cliff and died a few times, it was never that frustrating for me because I always laughed my ass off the way I died. I mean, it was fucking hilarious running off cliffs, dude. And even though the menu navigation's been cleared up, you still spend an inordinate amount of time in the menus dealing with the cargo and whatnot. I mean, you get used to it and it's part of the game to manage your cargo, but it still causes you to pause the game constantly and pulls you out of the action at some of the worst times. You'll get knocked over during a fight and have to pick up all your stuff real quick. Then you have to pause mid-fight, auto-organize inventory, then unpause. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it actually happens quite a bit. And if you don't organize after picking up, then you're just going to be completely off balance during the fight. So this is just a personal gripe of mine, as I hated how much time I spent in the damn menus of this game, even though they cleaned them up. But I guess it's just part of the game, like I said. It is managing your cargo and whatnot. And also, I gotta talk about this as a bad thing, but it's just a personal thing for me. It's not really a knock on the game per se, but it was definitely a bad thing for a player like me. These type of open world games are really rough on me because I get sidetracked easily and I have to finish certain things before I proceed with the story. This is why I spent the first 50 plus hours or so in this game just building roads, doing side quests, and trying to 5-star every settlement I came across. That was my goal when I first started. And I was successful at this for the first half of the game, but as the days went on, I had to finish to get this review out. This is why I'm just now dropping this review a month after release. I played the hell out of this game, but I had to give up on my 5-star objective and just finish the damn story. I just ran out of time. I mean, I'll definitely get back in there and keep playing because this game hooked me in. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you're a person that got hooked on side quests and things in games like The Witcher 3 or Skyrim, you're probably going to have the same problem here. There's just always something else to be done, and it drives me absolutely insane. Just my personal gripe, no knock on the game. So to summarize the gameplay, I would say the overall gameplay in Death Stranding 2 on the beach is really good. The additions that they made to combat and traversal really set this game apart from the first one. I'll use an analogy here in movie terms of how I view this game. I would say it's akin to what Terminator 2 Judgment Day was to the first Terminator movie. They're both great in their own right, but Terminator 2 just took things to a whole nother level, all while building on the foundations of the first one. This is exactly how I see Death Stranding 2 from 1. Everything has been improved upon in the gameplay, and I would say this is the type of improvement you want to see out of any game sequel. This should be the standard. Alright, so let's talk about the good aspects of the visuals. I'm just going to tell you right now, the graphics are going to blow your wig back as soon as you get in this game. I mean, they look absolutely amazing. The game looks lifelike, and many times you'll be left looking in amazement at how far we've come with game graphics in the last few years. I mean, on quality graphics mode especially, this game literally looks real. I'm not kidding you guys, it looks real. That's really all I have to say, it looks real as fuck. The player models are done very well, and you can tell Kojima got his motion capture scenes just the way he wanted them. The actors and actresses did a great job in their roles, and I actually cared about Sam and his ragtag group of weirdos in this post-apocalyptic world. I'm glad most of the cast reprised their roles from the first game, and it went a long way in caring about what happens to everyone. Everything looks just so lifelike that sometimes during cutscenes you get carried away thinking you're watching an actual movie. And all of the biomes in this game are well done too, and do a great job to mimic their real-life counterparts. So whether you're in the jungles of Mexico or the hot outback of Australia, small details are all there, including random brush fires, floods, and tropical storms, and all kinds of stuff, man. It all comes together to immerse you so well into this world and the atmosphere. Alright, moving on to the bad aspects of the visuals. Quality graphics mode is only usable if you have a PS5 Pro. I have a base PS5, and when I turned on quality graphics mode, it looked absolutely amazing and lifelike if I just stood there and didn't move. The moment I started moving around, I had the worst stutter from hell I've seen in a long time. It immediately hurt my eyes trying to play like that, and I just quickly had to switch it back to normal. So if you have a PS5 Pro, then you're in for a treat, as this game looks better than almost anything I've seen out there. Unfortunately, if you still have a base PS5 like me, then you're gonna have to play the game on normal graphics unless you want to deal with the stutter from hell. Hey man, some of you guys might want to deal with it, go for it. I couldn't take it, boys. So to summarize the visuals, this game looks absolutely gorgeous and lifelike. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed with the visuals in this game, as it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen. The only issue is that you can only get the full graphical capability of this game if you have the PS5 Pro. Otherwise, you're going to have to stick with standard graphics, lest you want to deal with the stutter from hell. But you know what, regardless of having to play on standard graphics, this game still looks real as hell, and one of the best games I've seen yet. So let's move on to the good aspects of the sound. The soundtrack is bigger and better than the first game, that's for sure. I really enjoyed the music of the game, as there's all kinds of different genres to pick from, and the music just fits the setting and the atmosphere perfectly. We gotta give Kojima his props for the weird but fitting music selection here. It just works. And the sound effects are still great, as well as the actors and actresses' voice lines. Between the wildlife, the environmental disasters, and the stupid funny quips from Sam and friends, the sounds of the game all come together to make this perfect creepy nuance that keeps you on your toes at all times. Alright, moving on to the bad aspects of the sound. I really don't have anything bad to say about the sounds of this game. I mean, everything really did work well together, and nothing sounded out of place or messed up at all, so I got nothing bad to say here. So to summarize the sound, I loved the sound effects and music in this game, and I appreciated the attention to detail that the developers had when it came to the sounds in different biomes and disasters and things. It seemed like the actors and actresses took this game and their parts seriously, and it went a long way in keeping me hooked into the game, so I appreciate the work they put in to make this game great. Alright, so moving on to my final thoughts on Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Well, this game ended up being an absolute gem for me, but I can also completely understand why there will be people out there who hate this game. Because this game is a strange one for me too, in that it has many qualities about it that I usually despise. Absolutely despise in other games. But this one somehow manages to do them in such a way that I realize that certain things can be done in a video game if done correctly. And let me explain. I usually hate what we call movie games, and this is definitely in many ways a movie game, mixed in with a walking simulator, which is another genre that I normally hate. But somehow they managed to make a movie game, walking simulator, stupid Kojima humor game that lets you LARP as Kevin Costner from the Postman movie. And yet, I love every second of it. I have a hard time explaining why this is, but this game just scratches some kind of itch that I didn't know I had. It's its own thing, it's more of an experience than a game, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but I loved every second of it. And I also love that I was able to drop the Postman act and go full Snake Plissken whenever I wanted to, boys. The ability to play your own little version of Metal Gear Solid was an absolute blast for me. I mean, combat was really fun in this game, and having so many different ways to dispatch enemies, including pizza karate, had me thinking of all kinds of ways to open up a can of whoop ass on them, and that's all I got to say about that. You know, the gameplay loop itself was really fun for me, but then you add in lifelike graphics and I'm hooked. This game looked absolutely amazing and I was just blown away by it. So, should you buy this game? Yeah! This game is definitely worth a buy, even at full price. I already have 135 hours into this game and still plan on playing many more. So I already got my money's worth. I know this game will eventually come to PC in like 2 years, but for now, you can only play it on PlayStation. And like Elden Ring, you probably won't see this game on sale for less than $30 anytime soon. So if you're thinking of playing this game at all, or you played the first one and liked it, then you should just go ahead and pick this up now while everyone's still playing it. Because this game is well worth the money, as there is so much content here that you will get hundreds of hours of entertainment for 70 bucks. Not many games these days deserve a full price purchase, but I can confidently say that this game is everything that a full price game should be. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Sorry it took so long to get this one out, but I really wanted to take my time with it. I'm sure a lot of people that put the reviews out like 4 days after the game came out, they missed a lot of gadgets, they missed a lot of unlocks, they missed a lot of stuff. I tried to really take my time because it's hard to get the full experience if you don't take your time with it. You can run through the main story in about 20 hours. I played the 135 hours of this game, and it was great. It was an amazing journey, and I loved every second of it, so I definitely recommend this one, boys. But let me know what you guys think down below. Did you guys enjoy this game if you've played it already? Are you planning on picking it up? Let me know, but until next time, I'm out of here, boys. Peace.